What's up, everybody? The end of the last one, I was thinking about heading to High Hrothgar, meeting the Greybeards and all that. But I forgot about Amren's family sword that we need to go grab, because he gives us like a couple skill points. Seems like one-handed and then block, maybe? Anyway, get a couple skill points for free from him. Maybe some gold on top of that. I don't remember. There's a couple other things I want to kind of tour around and look at, just right outside the Whiterun city walls.
Welcome. If I cannot serve you, I am sure that one of my other traders can do so. An astute question, for we are far from home, and this is a cold, hard land. The wise trader finds the best opportunities, even if he must travel far to find them. Skyrim is a ripe opportunity indeed. The dragons and the war have scared many other traders away, but for those with courage, there is much profit to be made. The Khajiit hail from a distant land called Elsewhere, bordered on the north by Cyrodiil, and the south by the glistening blue waters of the sea. Elsewhere is an arid land of deserts and rocky canyons, where the sun shines warmly, always. There are cities so ancient, the sands have swallowed them whole. But now I will say no more, for I miss my home greatly. Take a look.
This dude's actually really cool. I like the way he talks, and he just looks just all cool, just hanging out. The introduction of these Khajiit caravans here, and then the introduction of the Alakir and the Hammerfell warriors here also. Both of those make me lean towards agreeing with the, I guess, the popular consensus that the Elder Scrolls will be held in one of those two areas. The next one, Elder Scrolls 6. I was thinking Elsewhere, and I only say that is I know that Hammerfell is brought up, and Hammerfell also has some stuff going on with the elves too, and they're playing into the whole Thalmor thing, as we're going to find out they're the kind of devil in the background type of thing that you'll have to eventually deal with. You know, deal with once and for all type of thing or something. Anyway, so yeah, that leans me towards thinking, okay, sure, Hammerfell, but then Elsewhere is just pointed at in a lot of different ways in the game. You have the Khajiit caravans, they'll tell you a little bit about their lands, they pop up here and there, you get some taste of their culture. Certain Khajiit NPCs will give you different views of not only the way they do things, but some of the problems they're having. Seem to have this thing about skooma, that pops up a couple different times, that one cat in Riften, that one cat in the kitchens, when you dress up as the chef later in the game, assuming you do all that for the Dark Brotherhood and all that. But anyway, yeah, they seem to have a moon sugar problem or whatever, and then a skooma problem. And then, you know, they like to be traders. They describe their homeland, and there's just hints and points in that direction that kind of set the stage. You know, a sandy, rocky canyon-filled land with buried ruins and, you know, cities and stuff. That sounds like a setup, you know, stage being set for another adventure, if you ask me. But then, you know, on the flip side of that same coin, you could also argue that the Hammerfell warriors and the Alakir with their curved swords that are mentioned by every other Whiterun guard you come across and stuff. I mean, there is something to that too, and you can learn a bit about Hammerfell from, like, that one dude in the Dark Brotherhood. He'll tell you a bit about himself and his homeland and stuff, but not so much describing the people and the place they come from necessarily. Well, I don't know. It's kind of a mixed bag, but the only reason I say it's probably one of those two, that's why I would guess that, is in Oblivion they pointed at Skyrim a lot, but unless you knew that it was going to take place in Skyrim, maybe you didn't notice. But then in hindsight, it's like, you know, the Great Oblivion Gate was in Bruma. They talked a lot about the Nord culture and stuff. The first fence you go to for the Thieves Guild is in Bruma. Basically, when the whole Dark Brotherhood guild thing culminates, it's up right by Bruma, and just a lot of stuff around Bruma. The Blades are centered right up there by Bruma, also right next to it. Anyway, just it seemed to be a focus. You know, it kind of a choke point. You know, everything sort of leaned that direction. They pointed you that way quite a few times in the game, and in hindsight, I can see it. That there is kind of a setup. And if you paid attention to what people said and how people acted and how things looked, and if you read a few books and blah, 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 then you saw that they had set the stage to kind of give you an idea of what the Nord people are about, where they come from, what it was going to be like up there. Send you up into the snow all the time, you know, to go visit Bruma for this and that, to go fence your goods and go close Oblivion Gates and go, you know, do stuff for Joffrey and all that, you know, this type of stuff. So, in this, I don't see anything necessarily pointing, but I don't think we're anywhere near Elsewhere or Hammerfell. Hammerfell is essentially west, on the other side of Cyrodiil to the west, right? And then Elsewhere would be to the south of Cyrodiil, if I recall. Because, I mean, even he said, what, Cyrodiil borders it to the north, and I can't just sit here and picture a map in my head. But anyway, they're by no means anywhere like right next to Skyrim, so there's no way they could say, hey, point to the border to the west, and that's where we're going next type thing. But they do introduce both these peoples, and, you know, give you an idea of where they come from and their cultures and stuff. A little more so the cats, the Khajiit overall. It seems like to me, but I'm probably wrong. But I would, if I was a betting man, my money would be on one of those two places for the next one. Most likely Elsewhere. Boy, the crafting materials are just everywhere. Okay, oh, that's right. We usually have a little bandit excursion taking place at this ruined watchtower here. Just randoms. Just a random fight breaking out. Guards doing their job, you know. Good for a little bit of extra loot. Actually, this may be a kind of profitable trip right here. What I'm really looking for is I want to find Cicero. For those of you that hate Cicero, I want to point something out. In fact, one of the groups I'm in, if you were to ask 10 players, 9 of them would say, I kill Cicero every time. Not stopping to think about it. But this is one of those cases where if you actually bother to read, like, his journals and listen to what's being said, and especially take heed to what the Night Mother herself said, to where if you call yourself part of the Dark Brotherhood, but you don't give a shit what the Night Mother says, well, then I would say, well, actually, you have nothing to do with the Dark Brotherhood as far as that goes. She is essentially the voice of Sithis towards you, and then you are the ear to hear that voice and then carry out Sithis will, with the Dark Hand and all that. But anyway, the Night Mother will very much tell you that loyal Cicero, okay? That's the one that's he's the only one that stays true. He's the only one that stays loyal. He really is the loyal assassin out of the Brotherhood. Well, you do have Babette and you have the other guy, I forget his name. The Alakir guy, speaking of that. You do have those two, and they aren't defectors. They're something you can at least work with. Well, rather than get into spoiling the whole Dark Brotherhood story for anyone who doesn't know, I would assume all of you do, but let's just say you don't. We're going to get into that later. But anyway, if I haven't spoiled it all already. But really, Cicero is the only one loyal. He's the only one true. He understands the tenets. He understands the discipline. He understands the Dark Brotherhood itself, and then the shambles, these imposters of the Dark Brotherhood. When you join the Dark Brotherhood here in Skyrim, you're not actually joining the Dark Brotherhood. You're joining an imposter, but the true Dark Brotherhood is brought into the Sanctuary, and then it comes out from underneath all that bullshit, right? And it's because of this guy right here that we're about to meet.
Man in the jester's garb down by the road goes by the name of Cicero. Crazy fool's asked me to fix his broken wagon wheel 5 times. He won't take no for an answer. Why can't he just leave us alone? Pay me? You think this is about money? Have you seen the man? He's completely out of his head. A jester here in Skyrim? Ain't been a merry man in these parts for 100 years. And he's transporting some giant box. Says it's a coffin, and he's going to bury his mother. Mother, my eye. Could have anything in there. War contraband, weapons, skooma. Ain't no way I'm getting involved in any of that.
Okay, we'll come back and talk to him in a second. He's probably going to repeat a bit of that, but we'll go down here and actually meet the guy himself. He's so annoying, it's funny. Just put it that way. I don't really like him either, but I do know he is essentially the Dark Brotherhood. He's all that we have of the Dark Brotherhood right now.
Ah, bothering me fuddle. Stuck here. Stuck! My poor mother. Unmoving. At rest. But too still. Oh, poor Cicero is stuck. Can't you see? I was transporting my dear, sweet mother. Well, not her. Her corpse. She's quite dead. I'm taking Mother to a new home, a new crypt, but... Ah! Wagon wheel! Damnedest wagon wheel! It broke. Don't you see? Oh, yes! Yes, the kindly stranger can certainly help. Go to the farm, the Lorius farm, just over there, off the road. Talk to Lorius. He has tools. He can help me. But he won't. He refuses. Convince Lorius to fix my wheel. Do that, and poor Cicero will reward you with coin. Gleamy, shiny coin. Huh?
Okay, now I think they kind of entice you to not work with Cicero because they make him overly annoying. Okay, just so that you might want to kill him, but if you don't, well, it's definitely better off.
Now? That Cicero feller? Huh, tell me something I don't know. Crazy fool's already asked me about 5 times. Seems he's not satisfied with my answer. Why can't he just leave us alone? Pay me? You think this is about money? Have you seen the man? He's completely out of his head. A jester here in Skyrim? Ain't been a merry man in these parts for 100 years. And he's transporting some giant box. Says it's a coffin, and he's going to bury his mother. Mother, my eye. You could have anything in there. War contraband, weapons, skooma. Ain't no way I'm getting involved in any of that. What? And just who in Mara's name are you, anyway? Hmm? Come here, telling me my business. And for what? To help a fool? Look, Yes, you're right. Feller might be nutters, might not. But fact is, he needs help. I turned him away. What kind of a man am I, huh? Look, thanks. And I'm sorry for my unneighborly reaction. If you talk to Cicero, you be sure to tell him I'll be down to help soon.
Alright, so if you want to be true to the Dark Brotherhood, you help out your little buddy Cicero, man. He may get on your nerves, but understand that, like I say, he's essentially the last loyal assassin as far as that goes. He's the only one true to the Night Mother. Even though the Night Mother pays him no heed, he stays true to her anyway. That's dedication, man.
So very far. You did? He has? Oh, stranger! You have made Cicero so happy, so jubilant and ecstatic, but more, even more, my mother thanks you. Here for your troubles, shiny, clinky gold, a few coins for your kind deed, and thank you again.
Alright, man. So, yeah, he's crazier than a house rat, sure, but, hey, he gave us gold, right? He's a man of his word. And, okay, notice, I don't want to read too much into it, but notice he did say he was taking, the Night Mother's body to a crypt, not a new home. Alright, not a new sanctuary. He specifically uses crypt, which would mean a building full of nobody, or dead people. But, anyway. Don't want to read too much into that, but there you have it. Of course, he hasn't gotten there yet, so he wouldn't exactly know what's there. And he doesn't hear the Night Mother's voice. You find out that he's basically just been a loyal servant just because. And I guess he basically removed her body from Anvil. Was it Anvil or Breville? Breville? Breville. I think it was Breville. Breville or Anvil? Yeah, it was Breville. Breville, whatever. Bravil. That's right. That's where her body was interred in Cyrodiil, and with all the upheaval down there, apparently, basically, he had to get up and go, and essentially, he'd be the last one here. And what he finds when he gets here is, well, we'll see. We'll see when we get there. But it's nothing good, anyway. Alright, like that, just a random hunter out there going after a moose. Just yelling at the moose while he hunts. That's probably why he can't catch the moose, because he keeps yelling at it. Alright. Now, for those of you who respect a person for daring to be different, right? Just think about it. Skyrim hasn't seen a clown in well over a century at least, right? And yet this guy comes in the middle of a war-torn country carrying a corpse on a wagon by himself, dressed as a jester, right? Just proud and strong about it, too. I mean, you got to give him. He's no coward. I'll tell you that. He doesn't have... he doesn't share the social anxiety some of us have. He's willing to dare to be different. Hey, dude, get out of my face. Yeah, take that. Get a taste of my flame atronach. Even from Oblivion, I want to say flame atronachs are probably my favorite. They're just so graceful. They're cool. I liked them in Oblivion and in Skyrim here. They were a little bit different in each one, but I like them both equally. They just look neat. And they're decent summons. I mean, they're not bad. In fact, I prefer a Flame Atronach over a Frost Atronach. Now, the Storm Atronachs are so damn cool that it's kind of hard to pass up those guys. And of course, anytime you can summon a Dremora who comes out, and as soon as you spawn him, he starts talking shit. He starts insulting his adversaries and stuff. You know, okay, that's pretty awesome too. But in the meantime, you summon a Flame Atronach, and they're just a thing of grace and beauty. They just float and twirl and dance, and they're like a flickering flame. Oh man, they're cool. I really dig those guys. Girls, whatever. Okay, probably get an ambush right here. Yep, got an ambush. Ouch, ouch. I was wondering, since Elder Scrolls Online has been out for, what, a year and a half on PC before we even saw it on console, and now we've had it on console here for a month or two, and I'm not gonna lie, I've been playing the crap out of it. I guess I'd talk about it just a little bit for anyone that's curious, anyone that's still here, that's still tuned in. I mean, you can obviously go watch the videos and stuff, but I don't know if you really get an idea of how the game feels. It's hard to do a let's play on something like that because it's an MMO, and there's a lot of things to do. I mean, the skill lines are ridiculous. The amount of stuff you have to do is ridiculous. To get your crafting skills up, you have to do so much crafting and deconstructing of items and stuff just to level up your skills. Even with bonuses and other passives and things going on, you can even buy little things in-game that allow you to earn extra experience and stuff. Even with all that, still, some of those grinds are real. Now, if you enjoy leveling your character and stuff like that, if you think getting your smithing to 100 in Skyrim is bad, try to get your smithing to 50 in Elder Scrolls Online. You're going to be doing some stuff, but what you're going to be doing is looting a lot of things. Running around every dungeon, you've got enemies dropping stuff, you've got chests, and you've got... I mean, it's very much Elder Scrolls as far as that goes. You can't interact with every item in the environment. That would be probably impossible in an MMO to do something like that, at least with current, you know, the software and hardware that we have available to us now. You're talking about something on a massive scale. It's hard enough for them to keep it bug-free in a single-player game. You just imagine with an MMO, I don't know how they could do it. Somebody will probably figure out one day, but you can interact with a lot of stuff in the environment, though. Not so much stuff you can just pick up and move around, but there's lots of things to loot and stuff. So if looting is fun, well, there you have it. But the feel of the game is something you probably can't get across in a in like a Let's Play series or something, because a Let's Play series on that game would be, well, 50% just sitting there crafting and doing stuff. and maybe even grinding for things like if you need some XP, go find a place to, you know, just kill things and whatever and stuff like that if that's your thing. But there is enough content in the game to play for seemingly forever. I mean, it's crazy. The maps are so big, and there's so much. It's all of Cyrodiil and all of the Altmeri Dominion lands and all of the Ebonheart or Skyrim lands. Skyrim and all the lands around it. Right, that makes up 5 or 6 different areas, 7 different areas, whatever. And then you have the Daggerfall Alliance, you know, with oh geez, what is it? The Bretons and the trying to remember. It seems like Bretons, Red Guards, and something. Anyway, each alliance has its own particular set of peoples and stuff, but they have ways you can cross over, and you can pretty much play any race anywhere. Sometimes it costs a little extra money. They don't have subscription fees, but they do have in-game transactions that really aren't required. You can play for free and be just fine with it. One I would suggest is to where you can pick any race and play anywhere, and that's a relatively cheap one upgrade. In fact, when you get the game and you first download it, it seems like you start with a little stuff. Buy a few extra what they call crowns, which is their in-game currency, and then get an upgrade or two. Maybe buy yourself a fancy mount, but you don't have to. You can buy mounts in-game and train them to be fast and do stuff. So it's not things that really offer too much of an unfair advantage hidden behind paywalls. Okay, it's not so bad. There's one thing: it's the Imperial race, and you do get a few extended passive bonuses that are usually available to all the different races, because each race is pretty much suitable to a particular style of play. You'll find some are more adept to you know, playing a Nightblade, which is like your rogue, and some are more adept to playing a you know, like sort of a DPS warrior, even a sorcerer, and then others are more adept towards playing a healer, and so there's a way for everyone to go, and there's usually more than one race to choose from to play the particular class that you want to play. So one might have just a little bit less of one thing, but it'll have something else. But anyway, you'll find out in the mechanics of the game that there's different ways to go, and different things to suit everybody's playstyle, and all kinds of in-game things to learn and uncover. Little secrets and little stuff, and things that will affect your gameplay. Everything from, you know, item and armor sets and little secrets and hidden stuff and crafting and things. And then you go around, and what you find is that when they say it's like the whole Elder Scrolls, you know, universe, it kind of is. I mean, when you get to Cyrodiil, which is the PvP area, it includes every single city that was in Oblivion. It's the whole Oblivion map, and it may actually be bigger than the Oblivion map, because I think it honestly, if you start in one corner and run to the other corner of Cyrodiil, I think it takes you longer than it would in the Elder Scrolls 4. It's huge. It's ridiculous. You can run one direction for like an hour and then look at the map and you haven't even gone halfway across Cyrodiil, and you're like, what the hell? This place is ridiculous. And it is. It's huge. And it's full of a lot of players, and you can, you know, battle one another, but it's also full of all the PvE stuff that you find in the game. So when you go to do PvP, you might run into players as well as non-player character enemies and creatures and monsters and stuff, but there's also caves and all the other features that you find in the story mode of the game, and it's all there too. And then in the story mode, you can play with friends. So if you ever wanted to play Skyrim co-op, that's basically what it is. And if you ever want to play Skyrim PvP, well, shit, they got that too, and they put it all together, so you can co-op and PvP essentially at the same time. One of my favorite things to do is to get into Cyrodiil and grab a little like a little Spec Ops group, get a little group of 4 or 5 and go find some caves and get way off and deep into enemy territory, and avoid patrols and maybe kill a few stragglers here and there and get all off in there and go looking for anchors and caves and different stuff that the game has to offer. That's all very much player versus environment, right? But you get some PvP mixed in there too sometimes, unless you just want to be straight ninja about it and just literally be 2 feet away from a passing enemy patrol of actual players, right? While you're kind of hiding, you know, okay, they outnumber us about 15-4. We might want to let them pass, right? And so you're sneaking around. It's awesome. There's so many things you can do. Anyway, but one point I was going to make is that the feel of the game, it's hard to get that across. I don't think really do it justice with a playthrough because of all the busy work and stuff that an MMO involves in between. But the story and the dialogue, for the most part, it just has an Oblivion feel to it. A lot of the voice acting, and there's more voice acting in that game than you would believe. I would have to say the script for the voice acting is probably 10,000 pages long. It's ridiculous. Just about everyone you run into has something unique to say, and then, except for the guards, who of course repeat some of the stuff, and some of it's really funny. They have some really good one-liners in there from the guards. You know, like, if I wanted your opinion, I would give it to you. You know, stuff like that. But, you have, in the story itself, dialogue options. Like, it feels like you're playing a single-player Elder Scrolls game in a lot of ways. The combat's like Skyrim, and the story's more like Oblivion. Depending on where you start, I think I prefer the Dominion storyline and the Dominion starting area. I think that's probably my favorite of the three. I would say second would be Daggerfall. Wasn't a big fan of the Ebonheart starting area, but I didn't get to all the areas. I'd only started a character there to play with friends, and then decided I wanted to go play Daggerfall because they're kind of like the underdogs, you know? And more of an accomplishment if you can go in with the underdogs and win. And so I wound up joining Daggerfall, and I'm happy there. But as far as story goes and starting areas and just the environment and the feel and stuff, I'd have to say either the Dominion or the Daggerfall Covenant would probably be my two favorites. Dominion had very much an Oblivion feel because you've got a lot of alien ruins laying around everywhere, and it's all very beaches and sunsets and stuff like this. And the music is some of the music is straight out of Oblivion, right? Of course, I guess that's the case no matter where you start. They're going to have a lot of the theme music that plays while you're out exploring and stuff. So you get the feels, you get the Elder Scroll feels. The downside, a forewarning, is it's not all the time, but you will run into stuff, and they have to kind of do this to give you an opportunity to get XP. But they will come up with tedious fetch-em quests, which will, well, honestly, just send you back and forth, fetching and doing this, and go over there where you just came from and do something else that I could have told you to do the first time, but we can take an extra 5 minutes if you have to go right back there again and do something else, and then come back here and tell me if you did it or not, then go back there and confirm that it was done, then come back here and did you do it, and then go back there and do something else, and sometimes you'll be gripping your controller going, when does this shit right here end? Okay, there is some of that. There's going to be grinding in MMO, and some of the quests are they're kind of mindless. There has to be filler. You know, honestly, I can excuse it. Personally, I get it. The 90% is so overwhelmingly awesome. The PvP is amazing. The gameplay is fun. If you like Skyrim style combat stuff, you have that. But you have some special skills and stuff that make you feel like a badass. There's lots of different ways you can build your character. You actually have to put some thought into it. There's going to be a learning curve. And, oh, by the way, I don't know that I've ever come into this cave right here. Getting back to the game here while I'm running my mouth. I just kind of stumbled down off the side of the cliff, and I'm like, oh, look, here's a cave. I kind of wish I hadn't. But there you have it. We're probably not equipped for damn near level 20 trolls, but I guess we'll do our best. Fire is effective against these guys. Might as well get a little practice now, because we're gonna meet Paw Patrol on our way up to High Hrothgar, right? Everybody knows the frost troll that notoriously waits for you to pass by, stalking you. Yeah. But anyway, so that's really my impression of that. It's about as honest as I can be. I'm enjoying it so much that, other than the few rage-induced moments where I just want to yell at the TV and throw my controller across the room because of some tedious fetch-em quest that I just wish would end. It's happened a couple times. Some of those you might actually find semi-entertaining or even funny, because there'll be dialogue and things in between. And some of it is sometimes just to send you to an area that you might not otherwise have seen, and something funny will happen. Or somebody will say something funny, or it's just an excuse to tell a bad joke or something like that. There is that. But you have a lot of the Elder Scrolls type humor, and you definitely have a lot of the feels, and music plays a big part of it. The soundtrack is very Elder Scrolls-y, and all that. So for any fan who's a little tired of the Elder Scrolls that you have right now, you've just played them into the ground and every which way but loose, and you're looking for something to tide you over till Fallout 4 comes out or something, I would recommend it. I'm enjoying the crap out of it, and you can get in there with friends and do your thing, and it becomes a very competitive thing. I will go so far as to say I hate Ebonheart and Dominion. when I'm in there in PvP. I hate them. I can't stand them. One side's really, really cowardly, and the other side's just really, really unskilled. The Dominions are coward. They won't fight unless they outnumber you 50-1, and they outgear you. You know, they have to have all their in-game gear that they ported over from the PC, so they can confirm their whole PC master race thing, until the console quote-unquote noobs or peasants actually catch up with the same gear and show them what skill is, having played their games without mods and cheats all this time, and show them how to actually play with skill. And if anyone takes that as an insult, good, and get over it. I don't like you anyway. I cannot stand the Dominion. Can't stand them. And that arrogance that comes with all that stuff. Oh, I play with mods and cheats, so I'm a badass. And yeah, okay, maybe your keyboard makes you a warrior, but when you actually have to have skill in the game and come in with somebody who's got the same gear you've got and you get your ass run over, then it happens. If you got even numbers, Daggerfall's gonna wipe Dominion's ass every time. As long as you got the stuff to work with. You know, now if we're all level 10 and they're all veteran rank 14s, probably not. Maybe. With a little teamwork, a little communication. Yeah, probably, actually. But anyway, so all their bluff and bluster is trash. And then, yeah, so I drew that line. That's right. At least as long as I'm... Now, of course, if I'm playing a Dominion character, it's the other way around, right? But no, you actually pick sides, and you begin to hate your enemy, and you take their keeps, and you snatch their scrolls, and you gain emperorship over Cyrodiil, and then you take advantage of that and go and run. I mean, it's awesome. Anyway, it's this global conflict going on there, and you can actually be part of it. So that aspect of the game makes it worth it in and of itself. Even if it didn't have some of the really cool story stuff, some really good dialogue. The storylines are actually interesting. And you do have the Fighters Guild and the Mages Guild and something called the Undaunted, which is kind of just an adventurer group. I wouldn't compare it to the Companions. No, it's literally just dungeon divers, and they basically it's another side set. It's an excuse to give you a side set of rewards for challenging increasingly difficult dungeons and stuff. Especially once you get into veteran ranks and stuff, you get rewards and bonuses for that and stuff. And you're always unlocking stuff, like you're unlocking pets and maybe new dye colors, so you can dye your armor that you make for yourself, and you can make your armor in several different styles. You've got all the racial aspects of the different kinds of armor and things that you can incorporate into your crafting. And as you level up and go into new materials, then your armor styles change. So you might find where you used to like a Nord top piece and maybe Argonian leggings, well, now all of a sudden you like the Dunmer top piece and the Altmer arm pieces, and then you want the Khajiit leggings and all these, and each will have its own little flair and stuff. And then once you're done with that, then you go color it the way you want to based on the colors you've earned from unlocking stuff in the game. And some stuff even carries over between characters. Like stuff you have in your bank, you can pass it back and forth between your characters. You might have one character that specializes in crafting, and another character that you like to fight PvP with, and another character that you're just doing the story and getting achievements with, or some combination thereof, and stuff like that. You can do what you want. I believe also colors and stuff you unlock with one character through story mode. You have access to those colors with all of your characters, and stuff like that. So it's anyway, just throwing my experience out there. I thought it was really cool. But all right, so where I'm headed now is I wanted to just go meet Cicero, just show you that you can find him in his broken wagon and stuff while he's transporting his poor Night Mother to her new grave, and then doing some random exploring and stuff. Unlocked that one standing stone, got knocked off the cliff by the mage and what have you. Here I want to actually go get Amren's family sword, which is kind of what we set out to do in the first place. And this keep right here, this is really profitable. This is really cool. It's kind of set. Is once you have a mission for this, although honestly I think the bandit chief is here whether you have a mission for this or not. If not, he's probably replaced by a bandit thug or two or something. But either way, you have a group of bandits here, usually higher level ones for the most part. Strategically set up. They have archers watching from up high and stuff. They have patrols and stuff, and this is essentially them, you know, the bandits keeping a crossroads here. They probably charge travelers a toll to pass without dying or something. I wouldn't doubt it. But a lot of times Amren's family sword or one of several other of the Jarl's bounty quests will be here. Like the bandit chief that we killed in Halted Stream earlier. sometimes the bandit chief here will be. Sometimes you'll have several things at once. I've come here for a bandit chief and Amren's family sword, and found Meridia's beacon in the chest all at the same time. I mean, so it's a mixed bag. But there's like kind of standard locations that these places will send you to. This Halted Stream Camp, the Silent Moons Camp, I think, which we didn't stop at, but it's where you learn the lunar enchantment. We might head up there just to grab that, just to have something else to break down at the enchanting table. It doesn't really matter. It's not something I'm going to use. And one or two other places that you might go. Various caves and stuff around Whiterun. And basically, it's any key location, any discoverable location, pretty much, within this hold. Anything that Jarl Balgruf is over, basically it could take place anywhere here. These are just common locations. But yeah, this is a particular challenge, because like I said, you got the archers on high, then you'll have archers and other guys on the bridge. The bandit is usually on the tower on the other side, but when he hears a commotion, he'll usually run down this way and see what's happening. He's probably going to be about the equivalent of a bandit thug, which are the nastiest of the nasty. Not to mention, at our level, we'll probably see some other thugs and stuff, too. Yeah, the difference between a thug and, like, a bandit outlaw is not just their damage output, but their health pool is, like, triple. I mean, it's a major jump. You go from kind of tough to super badass in one step. Alright, but Uthgerd is doing her job. And this is the MO, to manage threat. Good practice for lots of different types of RPGs. Oh, that's no good. Yeah, one more anything and I'm dead. I was not kidding. They will take some abuse. Alright, I need to heal it. I'll take all that. Yeah, give me that. Good deal. Okay, yeah, like I say, one hit of anything and I'm dead. In fact, I wouldn't doubt that my dead body would be lying here next to this rock in just a second. Thank you, Uthgerd. I love you. She's such a champ. Alright, back to business. Now I can take one more hit before I die. Gotta remember to give Uthgerd another handful of potions. If she's facing like several thugs and such at a time, yeah, sometimes it's good for her to be able to heal herself. Now I think pretty soon we're gonna reach Uthgerd's level cap. She's gonna stop leveling up. I think she stops at either 18 or 20. They may have patched that. She may go a little higher than that. Some NPC followers can go all the way up to 50, and even I think as far as I don't know if any of them go past 50. I know there's a place you can go look. It's like a wiki or something. You can go see what various NPCs and stuff where they cap out at. Some followers, I remember going and looking specifically because I've had followers that just all of a sudden they can't take anything. They can't take any hits. They can't really do any damage. They're casting novice level spells, and I'm like, what the hell, you know? You find out that some will cap out at like level 10 or 15, others around 18 or 20. I think Uthgerd is 18 or 20, something like that. Although she's so badass that she can go far beyond her level as far as just tanking shit. Keep her around for quite a while. But yeah, anyway, and then let's see, I think like Ayala goes up to 40 or 50, I believe, although she's a little squishy anyway. She can do her thing, and then... I don't remember. I don't remember all of them. I'm trying to think if any of them go any higher than that. If anyone can reach the cap of like, or the old cap of like 80, 81. I don't think so. But anything up to 50 is, I mean, that's great. That should be good for any follower, because you should be able to give them any kind of gear they need to compensate for the extra damage they're taking, and, you know, whatever, what have you. Give a follower, you know, a handful of health potions and the means to maybe absorb a little health, absorb some stamina so they can keep their blocks up and stuff, and do a little shield bashing, what have you, that type of thing. Shouldn't really be any problem. Like I say, Uthgerd, I probably run the whole game with Uthgerd without her even really going down. You know, as long as you keep her half-ass equipped. Now, we do have an equipment limitation here. I am, at some point, once my smithing skill gets high enough, I'm probably going to just craft an iron set and fully upgrade it the best I can and see if she'll wear it. I'm kind of curious. I'm thinking maybe, but I probably have to get my smithing skill up into the 60s, 70s range, whatever that next tier is, to where you can make stuff like, what is it, excellent or epic or whatever. Maybe by that point I can get an upgraded armor set to where it's a little higher than the plate mail she's wearing. Steel plate is pretty decent armor. For looks wise too, I love it. Even on my character, with heavy armor, if I didn't have limitations and I was running with heavy armor, probably run with steel plate just for the looks. Really couldn't care less what the stats are. It's just, I really, really like the way they look. And you know what, I'm not gonna, no, I did all that work. I'm gonna find this bandit. Is that it splashing in the water over there? Actually, no. I think that was a thug I knocked off the bridge. This is not, or is this? That bandit changed names as soon as I don't know. I think that's a different bandit. Whatever. Yeah, I'm not going to shoot 150 arrows into something and just let my loot go falling off the bridge. Screw that. Alright, so, okay, we still got an archer or two down there at the end. That's fine, let's go ahead and look at stuff. See, Uthgerd's got that. You can kind of trust her to take out, you know, the trash. The scraps that are left, yeah, she can take all that out, throw it in the dustbin. And I think that bandit I just found there was the one that I killed from up here. Alright, so apparently that thug washed on down the river, probably off some waterfall down there. Maybe we'll find it much later in the game. I'll be like, where'd this bandit thug come from? There'll just be a body sitting there on the edge of the water or something. Way down at the other end of the map or something, who knows? Okay, I'm not just gonna play tag with this dude. Screw that. Man, I'm getting this issue with my summons here. It's a little annoying. Okay. Apparently I just don't have a summons. Or else it's summoned under the map, or it's down in the water somewhere. So I don't know. Not gonna worry about it. But I think that's it. I think we're good. Alright, now obviously what I'm mainly looking here is Amren's sword. Let's see what else we can find. I think there's a skill book here somewhere. Also. This is like the boss's tower here where the bandit chief was lurking. Skulking. Skulking is one of their favorite words. At Bethesda, skulking. I think they throw that into every one of their games at least once. If you keep your ears out for it. Skulking. It's a pretty cool word, actually. Alright, and that music right there, that kind of harp-type music or whatever, organ music, it signifies having completed a dungeon. Or discovered a secret or hidden or out-of-the-way place in a dungeon. I've had that sound come up a couple times. A lot of times if you, like, pull a lever and open a secret stone door and run down a little hallway and find a treasure chest and a secret treasure room, you'll get that music right there. I think it also signifies you getting credited towards having cleared a dungeon or a secret place is found. I think you can find those in your journal. Secret locations discovered, dungeons cleared, stuff like that. So I think it signifies that you get credit towards those various things. And what does that have to do with anything? Not much of anything, just trivia. Alright, and for those of you that are interested, not only do the bandits here respawn probably every 3 in-game days, that seems to be the typical number with these Bethesda games, 3 in-game days for stuff to respawn or clear or restock or whatever. But this bow up here also respawns with the bandits. Now, you got to work your way through the bandits to get it, but there's almost always, if not always, an enchanted bow. Sometimes it's glitched though. Sometimes you'll see it on the table, you just can't grab it. That happens. And then it seems like if you reload, occasionally it can fix or disappear altogether. Where, I mean, you can be standing in front of it, turn away from it, save, exit out of the game completely, load all the way back in and look back and the bow will either be gone or sometimes fixed. Sometimes. Anyway, doesn't really matter, but the bow does respawn with the bandits there, and it could have any number of enchantments on it. It could be anything, it's random. I don't know if it ever levels with you, though. Like, I don't think you're going to come back and find a really high-value enchanted Daedric bow once you start getting into Daedric level stuff. So,
I know I made the right choice. You found it! I've been looking for that blade for months! You took on all those bandits yourself?
That's how I roll.
Thank you. Here, my father had a favorite sword and shield technique. Let me teach it to you, in honor of his memory.
Yeah, we get one-handed and block. Yeah, that's a good deal. All right, 2 skill points. All right, so anyway, we made it back to town uneventful. Surprised no vampires have attacked, but we haven't run into vampires yet. But, all right, now I think we'll head to High Hrothgar from here. I don't think there's any other stuff to distract us. And so I'll go ahead and head that way and go talk to Greybeards. Of course, it's going to be an adventure just getting there. We've probably got a lot more stuff to do in between now and then. If you want to subscribe, click that button up top. Thanks for watching, y'all. And if you want to catch this Let's Play up to this point, click that image there in the middle. I'll send you straight there to the playlist. Y'all take care. Bye-bye.